Hello you lovely, lovely people, and welcome back to the channel. And little walk through here again. And incidentally, the reason why I'm walking through here so often for the last 6 weeks or 2 months is because the workmen here, they are in my house and I can't leave them. Got to keep an eye on them. So that's why I'm local here. In response to a few, in fact, lots of comments, surprising comments, how common it was or is when you're with a foreign lady in their country and they can cause you big problems. Like, my friend is in prison because of the, the assault, the indecent assault. And I was so shocked and surprised at how many of you guys out there were saying it's happened to you, or people that it's happened to, as well as in your own country, but worse in a foreign country. So we have to think to ourselves, how can we avoid it? Well, good question. How can we avoid it? Because we've got to bear in mind as well, here, we have got very, very little rights. The law does not support us unless it's black and white and they can see. But generally speaking, anything that happens in the Philippines and you're involved in it, they will point the finger at you, the police. It happened to me with a motorcycle accident until there was CCTV outside of the Piña municipality, and I spotted that and I said to the police, look at the CCTV, it wasn't my fault, you can see. And then they changed their tone. But before that, they were pointing the finger at me straight away. So, one of the worst case scenarios here is what happened to my friend when he was done for indecent assault. So how can we avoid it? I don't know, you tell me, people. I think the only reason, you've got to think as well, Filipinos are very, very, very jealous. Probably the most jealous nation of people that I've ever come across in my life. And they've got a very fiery temper. Most, not all, but most have got a very fiery temper, which means it's not easy to upset them. I'm quite lucky with my wife because she is quite mellow and she is quite placid. But again, you push her right buttons and she can flip out as well, just the same. So how do we avoid these confrontations? Well, there's an easy one, is not get involved with a Filipina, but that's not going to happen, is it? You come here, the chances are you're going to get involved with a Filipina. And of course, and I think with a lot of Filipinas as well, is when you meet a Filipina or you go out with a Filipina, they don't look at it as the same as you perhaps. Meaning, you might be looking at it as, it's a nice bit of company. It's a nice thing to be walking around with a nice Filipina, going for a few drinks, having something to eat. But to you, that's as far as it goes. But to the Filipina, it probably means more than that. Because as well, maybe not so much these days, but it still happens. It's some Filipinos' ambition to marry a foreigner and to have a foreign child. It's a kind of ambition what a lot of them have. So you've got to think, people, when you are with a Filipina, and to you it could be just a bit of fun, to them it perhaps isn't. So what I would say is, if it is only fun to you, you've got to make it quite clear from the start. Don't lead them on. Because if you lead them on, you're going to be in trouble. I guarantee it. You will be in trouble somewhere down the line. And they can make an allegation as easy as that, like they did to my friend. And the police have to follow up on this. They have to follow up on an allegation, whether it be a false allegation or whether it be a true allegation. So this is what we have to think of. Is being in a foreign country, having a lady making an allegation against you, what isn't true, you're still going to spend time in prison. Because here, it's like you're guilty until proven innocent. Meaning, it's not often, in fact, I know for a fact through my friend, when you've been charged with indecent assault, there is no bail here. There is no bail. So it doesn't matter how much money you've got, you will stay in the police or the local jail until your case is done. Like my friend's been there 3 years and it's still ongoing. It's very scary, people, isn't it? So how do we do it? Do you know, if I'd have known all of this when I first came here, I think I would have been very, very ginger with what I was doing. You know, when I came here, I was kind of laxy-daisy, thinking that it's a brilliant country, which it is, and thinking that it's fair and there was rights for foreigners here, like it is in my country. In fact, there's probably more rights in my country for foreigners than what there is for the nationals, for the citizens these days. But here, it's not. It's not. And I think that's a bit unfair, because everyone deserves the right to equal opportunities with cases. But unfortunately, we can't change the law. It's the way it is. So just be very, very, very careful, people, you know, who you go with. You know, try not to upset them. And like I said earlier, try and make it clear from the start. If it's fun you're after, make sure you tell them. Make sure, because you are going to come unstuck. Make sure you tell them. If you meet them in a bar, well, maybe they are looking out for fun as well, I don't know. But if you meet a girl in a shopping mall or in a shop, like I met my wife, and she's sincere, don't go around upsetting them. Because maybe she won't want to do something, but her family might. You've got to think of families as well. Families, not all, and I'm not being derogatory here, okay? Not all, but some will be thinking of the money. So they will be saying to the girl, well, make an allegation. I'm just thinking, make an allegation. Someone did it and they got a lot of money. Frighten the foreigner, frighten the foreigner. It's a horrible thought, and I wish I wasn't saying what I'm saying. But it's just, it is reality, people, because it's happened. It's happened to my friend, and from a lot of the comments, like I said, very shocked, very surprised how many of you and the people who you know it's happened to in Thailand, in Cambodia, in the Philippines, and also in your own country. And it seems to me that, let's just say, my friend is not guilty. And I think he is not guilty, but I wasn't there, I don't know. I can't say anything 100%, but let's just say he is not guilty. And it was a simple allegation that was made up for money and for spite, because he was with another woman after they broke up. What is the punishment in this country for someone making a false allegation against a foreigner? I've never heard anything about it. I've never heard nothing. Whereas in England, if you make a false allegation about somebody and it's proven that you've made a false allegation, then you get charged. But here, I've never heard of it. So there is no reason for these women not to do it, because they've got nothing to lose. They've got nothing to lose, people. It's a bloody scary country to be in when they can do these things to you and you come here all innocent. Yes, I'm saying innocent. Many foreigners don't come here innocent. You know, many foreigners come here with the intention of doing what they do to as many women as they possibly can, which, who am I to say anything? You know, it's not my cup of tea, but it's their cup of tea. What do they call them? Sex tourists or something? Sexpats, that's it. Sexpats, terrible, horrible name, isn't it? I would hate to be branded as that. So, and also, I've got to tell you this. My next door neighbour is Australian guy, and he used to live in Pampanga, near Walking Street. And he said, now I don't know, maybe you guys who've lived there, maybe you've heard this story. He said that there are young girls there, and they make out that they are older than what they are, but they are really underage. Now, they take you, they egg you on. Some foreigners will take them back to a hotel, do the business, blah, blah, blah. Then the police come banging on the door because the women are working with the police. And the police say, look, you give me 500,000 pesos or you go to prison forever. with underage sex. So sometimes the police even work with the girls to extort you of money. Now I'm saying this, people, because I would hate for any one of you people who are here for the right reasons find yourself in this scenario, in this predicament, because I couldn't think of a worse predicament and a worse scenario. The prisons in the Philippines, we probably all know, is not the best in the world. Overcrowded. You sleep in the same room as I don't know how many other prisoners. But when I saw Manuel, my friend, when I go and see him, there's no privacy. There is just a lot of prisoners in a big room in the city jail here. And I think, how can you do this? How can you be surviving like you are? Because I couldn't. I would have probably perished the first 2 weeks if it had happened to me and it was a false allegation. So this is what we have to think. It's a beautiful country, it's a paradise country as far as I'm concerned. Many of you will disagree, which is a fair point. But I love this country, but I also know the perils. I also know now, because I've been here for a long time, I know what can happen. And I mean, I'm married, I've got a child, we settled. But if I was a single person here, or even if I had a girlfriend here, and I wasn't with her for that long, knowing what I know now, I would be treading on eggshells all the time. I would be treading on eggshells. Now, most of us are lucky. We do find good Filipinos who are genuine and they love you and they probably wouldn't want any harm to come to you. But you've got to bear in mind, there are a percentage of them who want this. Unfortunately, we're in a developing country, and money is king. Cash is king here, people. Cash is king. And many women and many men will do anything to get it. And families of that person will do anything to get it. And they normally extort us, the foreigners, because we generally are the only source of bigger income in the Philippines, or bigger money in the Philippines. Pointless trying to extort a Filipino if he's, a construction worker, because he's not going to have no money, is he? So they wouldn't even look at them. And this is what we have to be very, very careful of, very ginger of, is not letting this dream that we have become into a bloody nightmare. So easily done. And like I said, I was so surprised at how many comments I got to say, it happened to my friend, it happened to me, I know someone that it happened to. I was so surprised. If I was to come here single, knowing what I know now, I certainly wouldn't get off the plane, go to Walking Street or wherever any bar. It doesn't have to be Walking Street in Pampanga or Angeles, it can be anywhere. I've never been there, no intention of. But I wouldn't come here solely for the idea of sex. I simply wouldn't. I wouldn't. Not knowing what I know now, especially, because I know how easily that this could lead into your freedom being jeopardized, and not just for a short time, for a long time. Age is irrelevant. They will put you in prison at 90 years old in every country in the world with an allegation like that. So don't think that age could save you, because it couldn't. It's a beautiful country, people, and it's just a shame that there are people out there that want to extort us. I mean, us being, not me in particular, but us being people with money, and especially police being involved in a lot of these things that do happen. Like I said, with the girls, the police are involved in that, some of the police. Now, I don't know if that's 100% true, it's just what I've been told, so don't quote me on it, but it's just, and maybe you guys know more than I do. Being here, if I wasn't with my wife, okay, and I mean this. If I wasn't with my wife, and I am a red-blooded male, you know, I've done things in my past that have not been shameful, but things that I wouldn't be proud of, you know. I used to girl to girl sometimes when I was in England, and even when I used to go to parts of Europe. I was younger then, and was it notches on the bedpost? Maybe, I don't know. But I was a red-blooded male. Now I'm older, and I haven't lost it, people. I haven't lost it. I'm not talking about that. I wouldn't be interested in jumping around from bed to bed to bed, especially here, because I know every girl that you jump from bed to bed, you are highlighting your risks of not just a sexually transmitted disease, which apparently is quite rife here, but your freedom. You will sacrifice your freedom. So why put yourself in that situation where you possibly could sacrifice your freedom over a fling, over a good time for however long it is? Don't do it, people. That's just what I'm saying. Take care when you're here. Enjoy the Philippines. Enjoy the culture. Enjoy the brownouts. And enjoy the internet. My internet is crap at the moment. Enjoy the internet slow speeds at times. But most importantly, try and live you're as innocent as you can here. And I don't mean innocent as an angel, but just innocent where you're taking care of yourself. You're not putting yourself in those positions where you can possibly end up in a heck of a lot of trouble. Just think about this before you do something, because every consequence, or rather every action, has a consequence, whether it be a good action or a bad action that you've done. Just think of that. That's all I'm saying, people. And have a lovely day. Whatever you're doing, try and do it well, people. Thank you so much. Take good care, and have a lovely weekend. It's not the weekend yet, but it's fast approaching. So take good care, people. Most importantly, stay safe. Bye-bye.